Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork Dandy Noodles for another breakdown of Spy X Family Season 2 Part 2 episode number 5. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. Welcome to November. It's so cold around here. It's gross. But I hope you guys are looking after yourselves, and we are now 1 week away from my midway review where I'm going to be crowning my top 3 OPs, EDs, current standing of animes, and I get to share with you some of my thoughts about the season as a whole so far. Really can't wait to touch base with everybody because it feels like it's been a very long half of the season already. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. This week's episode was just a return to form for me. I've been really looking forward to a plot really kicking off, and it's finally done it now. We've gone past the split episodes. This is finally the plot where we're at. I believe it's the cruise ship arc. I was a little confused because I know the movie is due out in Japan. Spy X Family's movie comes out on the 22nd of December. Sadly, it'll be 3 months later, probably in time for my birthday in the UK. I also thought that was a cruise ship, so I'm not sure if they're supposed to slot into each other. One felt like it was building up to the other. Maybe that's going to be what happened with Lloyd and Anya whilst Yor was actually doing her mission. Maybe it's flip side of the coin, so it'll be interesting to see if the movie is actually the same as what's going on in this arc. If you do know as well, let me know down in the comments. If you are in Japan and you actually get to see it first, you have to let us know if the movie is standalone or if it actually does slide into the plot right here. But very excited to go back to Sirius. I prefer Sirius Spy X Family. I like how fun it can be at times, but it sometimes feels very meandering. We've got a lot of deep stuff going on. Very excited to break it down with you guys. Today's question is gonna be, what is your favorite video game? So your favorite video game you've played as a kid, something that stuck with you, something that means a lot to you. What are your favorite franchises? My favorite franchise is the Devil May Cry series, just because Devil May Cry 3 in particular was the first game I managed to just finish on my own. I don't have the greatest amount of time for games in general, but when I was growing up, I had 3, managed to finish 3. I played through the original as well. That was really fun. I remember getting stressed during Devil May Cry 4 during the fan section and jumping up the fan shaft and then giving up because I was playing it on my PC. I didn't have a controller or anything at uni. It just made me snap and go, nah, I'm done. And then quite recently I got the controllers back and I was able to play 4 and 5. Loved it to pieces. Honestly, if I was good enough at working with leather, I would make a cosplay from Devil May Cry. Don't really want them to do number 6. I kind of want to remake on 3, remaster it. 3 is a really good game, so I'd like to see that in more modern graphics. That's my favourite game, so let me know your favourite franchise down below, and let's jump straight into it. We do finally get the mysterious shopkeeper's face finally revealed, and I know everyone loves the VA. He is famous, he's popular. I just was expecting more from his look. This is the guy behind sending Yor off to do the killings, her as an assassin. I wasn't expecting him to look quite corpse-like. He's very old as well, quite old and mysterious. It's also this scene which made me realise that last season we had that famous OP, that famous scene with Yor in a garden looking up surrounded by nature, and I didn't realise how clever that scene was because I completely forgot that she works for an organisation called Garden. Very clever link that I never really picked up on. I did also have some thoughts whilst this episode was airing. Because Yor is dealing with very high profile stuff, I know this is technically the mafia. It did feel like surely she would cross paths with Yuri at some point, because Yuri works for the secret police. So the secret police obviously work for the state. I guess they would not have dealings with the mafia, but I also wouldn't put it past them dealing with the mafia because it's the secret police. But it would feel like Yor and Yuri are going to cross paths at some point, maybe against each other, maybe they're working for each other. It's just weird that they haven't crossed paths yet. They would recognise each other because neither of them really dress up. Yuri wears a uniform and Yor doesn't really dress up very much. It's just weird that they haven't crossed paths because it feels like more likely to cross paths than Twilight and the Fawn Princess would. It does feel like it's our first ever proper mission when we're focusing on Yor for once. I like the change of perspective. I think it's great. It also feels very serious. I love it. It feels a bit spy-y as well. Instead of it being more, this is an assassination, you are protecting this time around. It's very rare to see her protecting somebody. Normally she's dealing out death. It's going to be interesting to see how this arc plays out. Definitely feels like we are building for something though, and I don't know if it is the case that the movie runs parallel to this part perhaps. I like the fact as well with Yor is starting to question why she's doing the assassination work, because we all know that she picked it up because of Yuri. She wanted to protect him and give him a good upbringing, but Yuri left quite a while ago. It does make you wonder, would she give up is it going to be easy to also leave? Because I don't imagine they would let her go just like that. It feels like she's too deep and stuck into some very dark, shady world that they're probably never going to actually let her go. So it would be interesting to see if that could be a plot that we explore. Maybe Yor eventually just goes, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe it's possible that we're going to see her struggling to get out of it. Interesting to hear that he mentioned, now that you've got a family. So I want to know how she breached that topic with the shopkeeper. The lady on the boat also said, oh, isn't it just a fake family that you've got for a cover? She also presumed that it was fake. The shopkeeper must think also this is fake. I want to know how that topic was breached, him being okay with it or not. It is nice to see that Anya's plot obviously ties straight into the main plot too. We have to have everybody on board that boat. I love the fact as well that she can hear everybody and she knows exactly what ticket to pick. She could have just played along, but she didn't. She was that gung-ho on getting that cruise ship. She was like, nah, I'm going to take that and I'm going to win this. Even though it is third class, you get to go on a luxury liner. That's amazing. You can spend most of your time outside of your room. You don't have to stay in that room. There is a very nice Emperor's New Groove moment where you've got the evil Anya, good Anya talking to one another. Does kind of feel like good Anya doesn't really put up much of a fight and that evil Anya really does win a lot of the time. A lot of the time it feels like Anya's quite chaotic and I love that. It was a very nice moment to see her actually trying to initially deliberate on being good and actually we should stay home, we don't want to get in the way of our mum. Actually no, screw it, I want to go on a boat. It was also interesting to see that Lloyd wouldn't have initially been there. He had to actually go to the effort of arranging time out. He initially says, I can't take time out. I was like, okay, this is cool. Are we going to have just a scene with Yor and Anya? Lloyd is going to be there, but he's not the main character. He's not got a mission. He's been told your mission is to relax. And I love the fact that as soon as he's on that boat, he falls into his old habits. And I think that was just great because he can't get out of work mode. He's a guy who doesn't really take downtime. And I also wondered if spies could actually take downtime anyway. Is he allowed to take holidays? Because he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would know how to take a holiday. I also love the small details on the boat where we see the fire escape map, health and safety coming first. It's little details like that that make the environment feel real. I was actually looking at the map trying to figure out what the boat layout really was. Finding stuff like that absolutely fascinating. So I love the small details. I love the bit where they're in the shopping mall and you can see all the details going around and people shopping and you can see all the different types of shops that are on board the boat. I've never actually been on a proper cruise. The longest cruise I've taken was 2 hours because I took the proper cruise boat across from Tallinn in Estonia and I went across to Finland's Helsinki. That was fun. Nice boat. The food court was really good, but you had to pay for it. It wasn't like included like you would if you paid for a cruise, but that's the closest I've ever done to taking a cruise. I don't think I would do very well being stuck on a boat for that long. I feel like I'd get cabin fever. I'm like Anya. Quickly, we must enjoy this boat until it sinks. I would be the same. I'd be panicking that things are going to sink. I don't like boats very much. I think the sea scares me and I see these boats going through storms and stuff and it makes me really nervous. I wouldn't be as enthusiastic as Anya about being on a boat. I also love the moment where Anya sees her room and is just like, nah, tune in next week. We're going to have a better episode. That she was completely noping out of the episode. It's like, sorry, Anya, you're in for the ride now. You've got to give us this episode. I also love how nonchalant that Lloyd is. Like, you can see he's listening, but he's also not actually paying attention to her. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Don't fall out. I love the way he is with his kid. I actually love him as a dad because he's the kind of dad who's like, yeah, just do whatever. Just don't get yourself hurt. He's not the overly interested, but he's also not there to be a dad. He's there for a mission. He's not actually prioritizing being a parent. I love the way that he is with her. So I thought the relationship between these two, fantastic. Really enjoy seeing these two hanging out. I love the fact as well, Frankie's being left at home with Bond. Yor connects with her Mark because both of them have children. She's still a mum. She also looked after Yuri, which also might explain why he's very sistercon. It might explain it because she acted pretty much like a mum to him. I see you as a mum figure and I'm attached to you in that kind of way because I guess it's not just a simple, you're my sister. But for me, it's weird that he's that connected, but I guess there are people like this. She's doing more of a spy type role. She's looking around, actually acting like Lloyd would. I could imagine Lloyd doing this for some high profile person, but obviously this is the darker world, helping her escape. I also noticed that Yor didn't quite listen to her mission brief because even I knew that it wasn't her husband. She was the sole survivor, we were told. It's just her and a kid. I don't know, maybe Yor was thinking about something else at the time. To be fair, she's got a lot on her brain. She's thinking about whether this is going to be her last ever mission, which is very interesting to consider. I like stuff like that. I like it when characters have internal monologues. Do I really want to keep doing this? Is this really going to be my last mission? I like that. I want to see what the outcome is. I don't think she'd be allowed to walk out that easily. Absolutely loved the Lloyd bit. I think the best bit for me was the Lloyd bit. The fact that he was looking around, trying to make sure that there was nothing going on, and Anya calls him out for not having fun. And then that obviously triggers him to remember that his mission is to just chill out, have a vacation, actually take some time out. I like it. I thought it was such a fun moment. The guy just can't disconnect from his work. I love how deep the Your plot is. Honestly, I love the bit where she's talking to the lady. Her also in that disguise, the holiday disguise, really looks good on her. Really nice to see Yor dressing up as well. But it's a really interesting part. They're looking out at the sea. One's running away from her life. She can never go back. And then Yor's trying to tell her that she's going to protect her country. And it's really, really powerful. I think it's a very powerful sequence. Spy X Family could do more of being serious because I love it when it goes serious. I think it works a lot better. This stuff is really good to me. I really like this. I also love the fact that it's the lady putting Yor at ease because obviously she's got a lot on her mind right now, despite the fact that Yor is there for protection and she's the one who's supposed to be making her feel at ease. And it's nice to see that it's flipped. It's a very deep plot and I honestly really do prefer this series when it does this. I can't wait to see where it goes. Next week, it seems like we've got the assassin tipped off. There's bugs everywhere. He's actually heard the name that he needs, and he's only really narrowed it down to 3 people, but he seems to have honed in exactly on the person that it is. We're going to see Yor in action, and it's going to be interesting to see how she keeps it from Lloyd and Anya. Very good episode. Very excited to see where it goes. It's nice to see the plot has finally kicked off. I've said in a few videos now, I felt like we were just going through filler episodes between the series. That's fine, but you could have released that as an OVA or something. So it's nice to see that the plot is finally kicked off. Very excited to see where we go. So let me know your favourite game in the comments below, guys. I can't wait to see what suggestions we get. I'm expecting to see a huge variety of stuff that I already know, but I am very curious to see if there's any outliers out there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys again in another video. Bye bye, guys.